All right, family. So I had a question presented to me in my home ownership versus renting videos that I made. Which one is best for people? Now, keep in mind, I never reveal which one I think is better because as a licensed realtor in the state of Florida, I talk to both crowds on a daily basis. And there are scenarios where one benefits more than the other based on the individual's end goal. Okay. So it all depends on what do you value that makes home ownership or renting better for the people. So let's jump into the question that was presented to me. So it was asked two questions. The first one was asked from the renting crowd: why would I want to own a home when homeowners are responsible for an HOA and a property tax pretty much for the rest of their life? Those fees don't go away. I could use that money over 30 years and save that up and invest in stocks and make more money than a homeowner is making, having to be in debt for 30 years until the house is paid off. So to answer that question, keep in mind, every homeowner does not have an HOA, for starters. So that kind of negates all of that people are talking about. And then for property tax purposes, keep in mind that there's homestead exemption. So most states have homestead exemption. And after you are eligible for that homestead exemption, being a primary residence, then it renews each year, at least in the state of Florida. I would suggest that you check with your local tax assessment in your county to see what, their homestead, if they offer homestead exemption. If they do, what are their criteria, how that works. But that's how that works down here in Florida. So I hope that kind of answered that question. Now, the second question was, why would you want to have property taxes as a fee when that outweigh and outvalue the equity that you built up in your house? So basically they were saying, do you have more in property taxes or do you gain more in equity of your home? Well, considering the average property tax in many areas could be about $2,000, a year, then if you look at that over a 30-year period versus what you netting in equity and appreciation in a home, I mean, it's not even close. The gap is tremendously big, in favor of the homeowner obtaining more equity. Now, assuming you did not overpay for a home, right? And assuming that you got a home, where it was praised or under market value, then you should have a lot more equity built up faster. Now, here's the thing. Of course, I had a person give the most randomest scenario and most random scenario and made an extreme number. And I don't know how they got this number, but they said that they had in New York City, they had $200,000 in property taxes over a 20 or 30 year period. So it's not worth owning a home because look at all that money you lost. Well, the reality is, guys, if you are a homeowner, you can actually transition to being a landlord and factor in those property taxes into the rent. So therefore, you're not paying the property taxes. Your tenant is paying the property taxes on your behalf. So technically, you don't have to worry about that fee and you only net money. A renter cannot do that. So just keep that in mind. Airbnb, guys.